No, the Italian, they're just coming in behind the Swedish boat there. So they're looking for a boat end start. They're double tacking up. The Danes are off our screen and just to the right. So those are the two in first and second. Italians tacking into that little hole you see there. We're about just between 2 minutes and a minute right now to go to the start. You can see the guys are lining up looking for their spots. The Belgian and the German teams both fighting for the first boat position. That would mean that everyone else would have to avoid them when they tack back onto port. We'll see the yellow flag come down. That'll signify a minute, and it'll come up in about 10 seconds. Beautiful shot there down the line. You can see the lured pin there in the boat. The guys are just inches off with a minute to go.
Italian boat that's leading.
With less than a minute to go.
Is it the third boat from the top? Zoom in a little bit further into the start.
Oh, see a couple teams going back here. We just had the gun go. That's the start. Beautiful shot here off the start line. The Swedes look like they're off clean. The Danish, as we said, taking the port tack option. They're going off right with the Italians here pinned in. They're in a lane, and actually I'd say the Belgians and Swedish both look a little poked ahead. So the Danish have a little breathing room. Our leader's the Italian, sandwiched between a couple boats. It'll be interesting to see how they come in to the sideline here. And the Swedes here coming up to our lane boundary. They'll have to tack shortly. We'll see if the Italians give them space, which they should, and then we'll see what they have to do with the Belgians. They may have to duck them. And they come in for the tack right there. The Italians will just take their stern, take a little duck, and come up on their hip, and then they'll.
And they got to attack as well. They're right at the sideline.
And there we go. The Belgians
can't get out of there.
Beautiful shot of our sidelines here. Thank you very much for that. And the three of them coming back across. So the next piece will happen is with the Dane coming back
on the right side.
The Dane tacked underneath.
Let's go in the overhead. Really short upwind.
Looks to me like the three from the left are going to cross here. Marcus, what do you think?
Yep, there's surely a head at the moment. It is tight though.
No, actually, Marcus, we can see from the video shots that they ducked the Danish. All three of those boats ducked the Danish. So this is just a little bit delayed. Mads.
Yeah, our tracking is just 15 seconds delayed, so we get a bit of a replay. The Danish boat, Mats Emil Steffens, is ahead.
There we go. So that's our leader, the guy everyone had to cross.
He has to put in one more tack, though, than the rest of the fleet.
He does, and he's coming in on port now. So we'll see how that affects him. It's going to be really close.
Let's go in the overhead to get an overview. The Danish boat out on the top left. It's going to be really tight at the windward mark. Let's see what our camera boat has to offer.
Okay. Oh. There we go. And the Belgians just ducking the Danish. The Danish had to cross because they would have fouled them if they tacked too close. That means if the Belgians can make this mark, they'll be into the lead. And that's our Silver Fleet team, so that'll be really interesting for them. Boom, they're rounding. Up goes the spinnaker. There's our Danes, currently in second place, going round in second. And the Italians, look at that. They have got something going. They're up into third, so that nothing wrong with their sailing in this race. All three straight set. They're trying to minimize maneuvers. Those jibe sets, I guess, can be costly. Let's see if anyone goes the other way. Looks like the Germans are going to separate and do the jibe set. There's
quite light on that side of the course here. The morning breeze dying off a little bit.
Yeah, it sure is, Marcus. We'll see. Oh, it's really light in here as the Danes come right to the boundary to get a lane back. They actually will be in the wind shadow now of these two boats who are leading them back left. So we'll see if they drop down. That could be a costly error. How's our German doing who jibe set?
Sorry, let's move that over there. Right. He's not gaining yet. The Danish boat is losing out on the left side, going really slow. Yannick Lefebvre, the Belgian boat, is doing well.
And our Dane looks like he's climbing again, so we'll see. Maybe he'll be able to soak down to this mark and escape without any trouble. Really tight here. Wow, is that close. The Belgians came back on starboard, so the Danes had to jibe. They jibed right on his wind. I'm sure the Danes or the Belgians will have to jibe back and get out of that position. Yeah, there they've gone. That's the blue Seiko branded spinnaker you saw just jibing at the moment. You can tell this is going to be really intense all the way into the bottom of the mark. The Danes just jibe outside them, back in. Everyone's got to get back towards the gate so they can get around. The fleets really converged here as the... There we come, into the bottom mark. The Belgians and the Danes going around opposite marks virtually simultaneously, with the Italians also going around the go right gate.
Heading out to the side of the course with a little less wind, it's going to be interesting to see whether the Belgians that we see on the far end on the other gate mark, whether they can make a gain there. Danish boats sailing towards us now.
Little bit of a fleet separation. We'll see how far the guys go. Right there's the Italians coming back. They obviously didn't like the lane they were able to round in. Good job for the for the Belgians to be able to round the go right gate properly. They're the Belgians now coming back across to cover, so they're not taking any chances with their lead. Here we come up. Danes here. It's very solid tack, no problems there. The next encounter we see will be whether or not the Belgians or they are in first place, and here's the Swedes.
I'm curious to learn whether there's more wind on the right side of the course. Maybe we could get Rigo in. Rigo, can you hear us and give us a bit of feedback? And what do you think? Is there more wind on the right side of the course? Rigo, we can't hear you yet. Are you sure you're unmuted? Rigo, what do you say? Is there more wind on the right side of the course?
Yeah, I would confirm that. Looks like a little bit more stable wind on that right side, but occasional puff just saved the days on the downwind. And it actually also saved them on the left side coming up in the second upwind again. Looks like they crossed the Belgians and are now on that stable right side and seem to have some pressure. In the middle, the Belgians are sort of stuck, and the Italians now threaten the Belgian guys across. It's going to be really tight. Big separations between the first three boats, and everything is still in it.
Yeah, you can see how exciting this racing is. The Belgians and the Danes rounded the marks virtually simultaneously. The Danes have extended into the lead, and meanwhile the Belgians here under a lot of pressure. The Italians are coming back, trying to get through them. Not too light. The guys are 1.5 trapping, so they're able to move, keep the pressure on the foils without too much trouble. But it's really tight. You can see the Danes have got a nice lead. That'll mean a lot of pressure here to go through in the front if they're able to hold this position. Belgians there sat right on top of the Italians, protecting their position.
But the breeze is easing, so I believe this is going to be the last race of this round. I doubt that they're going to make another one, so this is a deciding race for who makes it into the next round.
Oh, and we can see here coming up to the windward mark, the Belgians got back inside the Danes, and they've actually made a pass again, so this left side is really paying off. Both sides of the time we've seen separation. We've seen the guys on the close side of the screen, the left side, and all three boats here are going to come around at the same time. If the Danes can put a point of separation between them and the Italians, they could go on to the next round. Otherwise, it'll be the Italians going through, and wow, it's all on this last run. We saw that if the Danes can pass the Belgians here, we think they'll go through the next round.
Are you sure?
If there's
can
no
they
more
still
racing.
catch the Italian boat?
Yeah, there's only 2 point separation. They were on 2 points and 4 points.
Right.
So with 1 point in between, they'll be even. As it stands right now, with the Belgians taking this win, the Danes would then be in second place. So really important, really tight racing here. It's all up to this to go on to the next round, and you know the guys would love to get on to the next round here. Whoa. Light, light, light. These guys' hearts will be pounding even though they're not working that hard. The stress will be incredible on those boats. Danes, and there's just a bit of separation here. There they go into their jibe. Let's see if they can get through the Italians cleanly. You know, it could be if the Danes have chosen their lane right. We've seen this close side pay on the upwind. Maybe it'll pay on the downwind. Could be enough to get through the Belgians and then take this round. If you were out there, Marcus, where would you be?
Well, my impression was that there was more wind on the outside, but the inside, the left side on the course, paid twice now. So I wouldn't be too sure where to go, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. It's more about the It's more about keeping your lanes right and making things happen. There we go. The Belgians just coming back in that Seiko branded Spinnaker, coming back on starboard. They'll be coming back at the Danes. We'll see if the Danes can get through them.
Still a mega tight race between the Danes and the Belgium team.
And here's the cross. All three teams we're worried about in this race are coming at each other all in one. Look. Oh, and the Danes have clawed ahead of the Belgians here. They had to jibe because of right away of the Belgians. Let's see if the Belgians have to separate or if they decide to hold on and really wait till the final end.
Really tight jibe right in front of them.
And that's it. That could be the round-winning move right there if they're able to hold on and then jibe through and get to the finish. We can see the leeward gates. They're going to pass through the leeward gates and go all the way through to the finish line, which is just coming into review on the right side of the screen.
Yep, the Danes are ahead. Finishing now.
Okay, and the Danes and the Belgians both attacking at the boat end. They must think that end of the line is favored. If it looks like the Danes have kept their lead, we can't see the Italians in the screen at this second, but they'll be following in as well. This, if the race there's the Italians coming into our screen. They're on starboard. We'll expect Belgium to, if the Italians can pass Belgium as well, then they'll have secured their ticket into the final. And it looks like they're crossing. This is it, Marcus. The Italians have just passed the Belgians as well, and in my estimation, that has moved them onto the final.
That's it for them. We don't have the results available at the moment, but that must be it for them. They must have qualified for the next round. So the Italians are probably progressing if there's not another race, but I think there's only 3 minutes to go. I think
the Belgians are having a bit of a nightmare here because the Swedish have got around them as well. I think that's dropped them down to 4th because there's a bit of a prize on for the Silver Fleet guys as well. So as you can see, incredibly close racing. Amazing stuff here.
In a dying morning breeze on Lake Garda, I think there is still a bit. He could do another race, but let's find out. Let's call Rigo or David Campbell-James, the race officer. It would be good to find out whether we do another race or whether that's it for this round.